In this and the next couple of sections, we're going to examine in detail each of the processes associated with warehouse operations. Although warehouses differ in terms of size, type, function, ownership, and location, the fundamental processes remain. These processes include pre-receipt, receiving, put away, storage, picking, and replenishment. We will also talk about cross-docking, where products are moved across the warehouse without actually going through the put-away processes. Here are the main activities we just mentioned together with their relationships. Receiving goods in or in handling is a crucial process within the warehouse, ensuring that the correct product has been received in the right quantity and in the right condition at the right time. This is one of the main things of the warehouse operations. These elements are often termed supplier compliance. However, it is my contention that once goods have arrived at the warehouse, it is usually too late to rectify most receiving issues. I believe that there are many steps that need to be taken in advance before the actual act of receiving should take place. First, we need to ensure that the supplier presents the products to the warehouse in the most appropriate way. It is normally the buyer who specifies the product and therefore may not have the knowledge of the goods receiving operations. The warehouse manager should be also involved in specifying and agreeing to the packaging, items per carton, cartons per pallets, and any specific labeling required, together with the mode of transport to ensure that the product's orders are compatible within the storage facility. Areas that need to be discussed both internally and externally prior to the order being placed are the following: size and type of cartons, type of transit packaging, palletized or not palletized delivery of products, size and type of pallets, specific labeling, position of label, carton quantities, mode of transport, delivery quantity and frequency of delivery. Delivering in the standard selling quantities is also crucial in assisting the manager to increase the speed of throughput and simplify picking. The method of delivery needs to be compatible with the unloading equipment available at the warehouse. The benefit of palletizing products include protection from loss or damage during handling and transportation, and the reduction in the number of people required to load or unload containers. The process of loading and unloading is speeded up, whilst packet space required of the loading and dispatch base is also reduced. The increasing legislation on the use of wooden pallets makes slip sheets a viable option for transports of goods and containers. They increase the loading cube within the container, reduce the time taken to offload containers, and are easier to clean. They do, however, require both dispatch and receiving warehouses to purchase a special attachment for the forklift trucks. If products arrive loose loaded in a container, they will need to be palletized prior to being put away in the racks. Where possible, these cartons need to be constructed in such a way that there is no overhang and no potential for crushing when they are arranged on the pallet, and that as many cartons as possible can be accommodated within the cubic space. As you can see in this picture, the size of the outer cartons does not allow the warehouse operations to optimally stack the pallet and can result in increased damage. Currently, there is no universally accepted standard for pallet dimensions. Different market sectors and organizations utilize many different pallet sizes around the globe. The International Organization for Standardization has determined 6 pallet dimensions. You can visualize these dimensions in the file attached to this unit. The size of the pallet to be stored determines the rack configuration. Where companies store different sizes of pallets, the configuration needs to be suitably flexible. Recent innovations in the pallet sector have included iGPS plastic pallets, which are said to be 100% recyclable, as well as being 30% lighter than wooden pallets. Products delivered in outer cartons need to be labeled in such a way that they can be easily identified. Information can include barcodes, which need to be compatible with your radio frequency equipment and which hold data such as product code, description, and pack quantity. Ease of identification speeds up the handling process. You need to put measures in place to identify suppliers who are not performing to standard and work with them to introduce improvements. You can be reasonably assured that your suppliers are not deliberately causing you problems. The issues arise because they are not aware of the effects of their actions on your operations. You will benefit more from a hands-on approach to the problem and work with the supplier to improve the situation. One of the main challenges for a warehouse manager is to match labor hours with work content. Handling a product the least amount of time possible leads to reduced labor hours and, as a consequence, reduced costs. Depending on the operation, labor can be the single biggest cost within the warehouse. It can be between 48 and 60% of the total warehouse cost, depending on the amount of optimization utilized. It is also most difficult to cost control, and handling makes up approximately 20% of the total direct labor cost within a retail warehouse. Prior to the actual receipt, a number of processes need to take place. The first step is to ensure that suppliers deliver into the warehouse when you decide, not when it suits them. There will be exceptions for this, for sure. By providing delivery times for each supplier or their subcontractors, you are in control and able to match your work hours to work content. A booking in or dock scheduling system needs to be introduced. You then need to match the length of the time slots to the time estimated to fulfill the tasks. Standard time slots do not work as each delivery is likely to be different. You need to keep records of time it takes to each type of delivery and share the information with your booking team. This will give you the amount of labor and equipment required to undertake the task, thus making planning a great deal easier. Warehouse staff needs to be aware of the products being delivered, the type of vehicle, and the equipment required to offload. Pre-advice of the products being delivered is also advisable so that the details can be entered in the warehouse management system. This is normally in the form of an advanced shipping notice. This is an ideal method of receipt to accept the contents of the advanced shipping notice as correct into the system as soon as possible through the use of RFID or barcode scanning. Some warehouse management systems will use this information to pre-allocate pallet locations for the products prior to arrival. The information is also used to check the delivery.